Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi out there. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Hope you are all doing well and had a fantastic weekend.
Yes, you too, everyone out there. We're at
Yeah.
our regular time.
Yes. Surprising.
Yes.
we're gonna try. We're gonna try be
Yes.
consistent. Before we get too deep into things, first up in the chat today was Orange
Woo.
Blossom and Tails. This is like 3 weeks in a row.
Woohoo.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us again.
The early
Um,
bird gets the worm, or whatever the
yes,
phrase, whatever the phrase is.
exactly. So I am just getting started with my morning, but you look like you've already been up and productive today.
Yes. I was doing some book interviews this morning,
Are
so
you you're in the publicity mode now, huh?
yes, I'm in publicity mode now that we're almost 3 months out, which is
Mm-hmm.
exciting, nerve-wracking, it's all the emotions,
Have you
as you
gotten?
know, as an author.
Oh, I know, I know. Have you gotten any really like weird or interesting questions doing interviews yet?
No, because
No.
it's been all just like, what do you like to eat at Disney? Like it's
Right.
been very, just talking, which I love more conversational stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So far, just easy routine stuff that I could talk about in my sleep. So fingers
Nice.
crossed that
I
remains.
I always when I'm doing an interview, I always know that when the interviewee when I ask something and the interview pauses and says, "That's a really good question." It means they really hate whatever I asked because they can't just give an answer that they've already got ready.
Yes. I mean, I feel like
They
lucky,
hate People
at
hate
least with this
interesting
Disney or
questions.
Universal stuff, we could answer it basically in our sleep.
Yeah,
So try
exactly,
not to get
exactly.
nervous, but you know.
All right. Well, we got a few dozen people in the viewing us already, and don't see anyone else having anything to say in the chat. If anyone has anything, speak now or
Yeah.
hold your peace till the end of the show.
Haha. Yes.
Otherwise, we shall jump into this in. Oop, let me have the right script up. That would help. We're gonna kick this off in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and MEI-Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. Carly, how have you been this past week?
I have been fabulous. I have been kind of laying low, getting work done ahead of the 4th of July weekend, but I did take a little field trip out to Carowinds because I wanted to see the construction for their new world record-breaking attraction that is being built right now.
So what is it vertical? What kind of conditions is it in right now? All right.
So the ground is all clear. Just for context, it is kind of like underneath and next to Fury 325.
Okay.
The ground is all clear, and last week the first vertical beam went up, and that is going to be for the crazy drop. That's like 100 feet tall. So I went up, and they have a tower ride, like a classic tower. If you're familiar with like Hershey Park.
Yes, I love those. SeaWorld's got one too. Sure.
Yeah. So I did the tower so I can get a bird's eye view,
pictures,
and it was really cool to see. I mean, you don't really see too much. Just the ground's cleared. The loading station has begun work. That beam, of course. So it was really cool to see that. They have some fun, signs outside of the area, to kind of tease, because definitely going rich into that story. And then I did Fury 325 for another vantage point of it. So
I don't imagine you were really able to pay much attention to the construction when you were coming down off that.
I love that ride. It's one of my favorite coasters, but it was so bright out. So I had my eyes closed for most of it, but I knew when we were getting to the point of passing the vertical beam that just went up. So I opened it up real quickly to see it. But I cannot wait for this water coaster. Log flume traditionally.
Right.
50 miles an hour is crazy stuff.
That's
Like-
I think a little faster than Tiana's
Yes.
for sure. Hopefully no one will fall down
Oh my
the
gosh.
drop on this.
That is crazy that
case you
kid got
missed
away
that-
with bruises only.
In case you missed that news story this past week, it was reported that a kid got out of their log at the very top of Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Disneyland and slid down the drop.
It's a horrifying video.
Mostly uninjured. No report on what caused the kid to do this. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. I imagine that they're thinking now about putting lap belts on that, like they have in the Walt Disney World version, but they've never seemed to need them in California.
But you know what? Even with a lap belt, if someone wants to get out, they'll get out. So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Very crazy video. Did you have a good last week?
Yes. Well, I was going to say, you have to keep us posted on the progress there at Carowinds. I did stop by within the last week and saw a little coaster progress myself over at Universal Orlando.
Ooh.
Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. They are just today starting team member previews for the California version of Hollywood Drift, and I can't wait to start hearing reactions to that later today. But in Orlando, they're installing the spike, and it's not completely done when I was over there, but this is going to be impressive. This is really changing the skyline of Universal Studios for sure.
Yes. One of my favorite things about this whole progress is the Hard Rock Cafe that's directly next door to the construction. They have a lot of seasonal shirts that they come out with. Have you seen their shirt?
No.
I went into the gift shop recently because I had to see it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
So it's basically they have these shirts where it's kind of like the view of Hard Rock and Universal Studios Florida from City Walk, Maine. And they have the construction for the ride in this shirt. And I wish I purchased it. I don't know if they still have it, but
that's got to be a limited time thing. I got to check that out while that still exists.
So funny.
Right. Thanks for that tip.
Yes.
And also, speaking of Universal Orlando, this weekend, just yesterday, my co-author Alicia Stella from Theme Park Stop and I were at the Orlando Public Library in downtown for an author event, signing copies of our books. We have pre-sales for our new edition coming out soon.
I pre-ordered it.
Thank you. I pre-ordered yours. All right, we're just trading $1 in a circle. We're just passing money around. So it was really great. We had some fans come up. It was nice. Someone actually brought in one of their old copies of our book for us to sign. So it was really great getting to chat with people and see that people still do go to libraries and read books. So
yes, that's amazing. I have to ask because I haven't done this yet, but it's in my future. Is it nerve-wracking before you do these appearances, wondering, are people going to come out? I know they're going to come out, but
honestly, I would not expect huge crowds down the street or anything for a book event. I mean, you might draw crowds. Me and Alicia, we had some people show up, but it was low key. It was a relaxing couple hours. We did not feel like stressed to get through the line or anything like that.
Yay. Well, I see them all the time where no one shows up, and so that's I think my new fear unlocked, which will happen at any time.
I guarantee someone will show up for you. I will be there for you as long as
I'll do some seat fillers.
Absolutely, just hire some people to attend.
Yes, exactly.
But the other highlight of my week was I got to go over to the media event for Level 99 at Disney Springs. I got to meet up with our publisher Matt and Mikey and our friends Simon and Susan. And we got to play some games in Level 99 together. And there's some pictures of me doing things that I really probably shouldn't be doing at my age.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
So the way that this works is if you have ever played the old Nintendo games, Mario Party or WarioWare, imagine that brought to life. There are 63 little challenges. Most of them are rooms that are, I don't know, maybe 10 by 10 or a little bit larger, spread out over the 2 levels of this facility, which used to be NBA Experience, and before that was Disney Quest. So 60 something rooms or challenges, and basically you go into a room for between 1 and 4 minutes, and you have to figure out what the heck you're supposed to do in the room, and then
They
do
don't
it.
give you instructions, right? You have to use
So
your
here's
abilities.
here's the gimmick. You get the name for the room and a very vague description, and they sort of expect you to go in blind and figure out what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And there is also like a control panel on the outside of each room that you tap in a wristband to tell it you want to play it, and you can get hints from it. So you're not supposed to take the hints at first, and we quickly realized that you had to look at all the hints before you, if you're going to have any hope of what's going to happen.
Yes. And so if a room is free, you could do it. Like it's
so
not.
yes so
line.
basically we, during the media event, attendance, there were a good number of people there for the media event, but not an overwhelming number, and spread throughout. There are only a few times where we had to wait our turn to go in. If you go up to a room and it's already in use, it'll say it's in use, and it'll have a little timer telling you exactly how long. There's always an entrance door and an exit door. So basically, you go in, it locks the doors. As soon as you're done, it basically kicks you out by opening the exit, and then the next group can come in. So it's all automated, basically. And so here's the thing. I think that most of the people there had a really good time. I really enjoyed hanging out with our group. Some of the games I thought were very enjoyable. It's not as well themed in the rooms as like a well done escape room.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a step up from some other things. We've done a bunch of other similar physical challenge things. Fever had one at the Florida Mall. There's an Activate thing at Point Orlando. This definitely has more theming and character. You'll have like a couple rooms with a pirate theme, a couple rooms with a submarine theme, kind of loosely grouped together. There was a magician's assistant one that was, well, the best one was an alchemy themed room that was very, very well themed. But even the ones that were themed really well, I think when I'm doing escape rooms, and the people we were doing this with we're like escape room veterans. We've probably done 100 something between all of us.
Yeah.
I found most of the rooms frustrating rather than challenging. And to me, the difference between frustrating and challenging is challenging is I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just not good enough to be able to do it. But I know it, but it's my fault because I'm just not good enough.
Yeah.
Frustrating is I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or I know what I'm supposed to do, but it just doesn't work the way they seem to think it works.
Yeah.
That's frustrating to me. And I found most of the challenges more frustrating than challenging. To give you an example, we did 20 something of these little boxes, and then each one takes 1 to 4 minutes. And that's with a minute or two in between. Sometimes you're just going back to back because they were open. But I was there. They had a bunch of introductory stuff and some food, but I was actually playing games for about a little over an hour. So out of those 20 something, you get between 1 and 3 stars. We got 1 star on 3 of them, and we failed all the rest.
That's kind of crazy, just based on your group. So
and a lot of the time we failed just because we couldn't figure out what they expected from us, or it was just vague, or there are rooms that you went into, and if you, without having any instructions, if you just touched the wrong thing, the game was instantly over, and everyone got thrown out without really knowing what it was that you touched or did.
I mean, this could all be cool, because how is it going to work with like teenagers and their parents?
I really, really wanted to love this, and I will say a lot of people there really seem to be having a good time. So don't let me dissuade you. Just know they boasted several times about how challenging it was, and this is not a thing for little kids. Little kids are going to get frustrated and not be able to do this. This is for groups. I think this is really made for teens to young adults. Even tweens might have a lot of trouble with some of these physical challenges. And
what was the most physical thing that you did? That's what I'm really curious about.
This one I just gave up on this before, because this one was basically kind of like the floor is lava. Except the floor was nuclear waste, but there were no safe spots on the floor at all. So basically you had to monkey bar across the ceiling or climb across the walls. And these weren't like rock climbing handholds. They were just slippery little blocks. And I knew about a minute into this that I was not long for this world if I didn't just nope out.
Wow.
I got a good pull on my arm from that one. I'm trying to think some of the other. Some of them were really fun. There were a bunch of ones that were similar to skee ball, which I love. That involved rolling balls like up a big pinball machine or something like that. Those were enjoyable.
Most of the coverage I saw was about the food, which looked amazing.
Well, they did give us free food. They had some nice pizzas. I had a vegetarian noodle salad that was really good.
Yes,
and a burger slider that was great. The drinks were very potent. I had a Mai Tai that one sip of it nearly knocked me out. So I didn't have any more to drink than that.
It wasn't one of the pouch ones, right?
I wasn't one of the pouch ones.
Okay.
So they do have, potent, reasonably priced drinks for Disney property. I think the cocktails were like $13.50, and they were strong. So, and I believe you can even go into the restaurant and bar without needing a ticket. But here's the other thing: the pricing, the business model of this is a little confusing for me. In the old days of Disney Quest, you could just kind of buy a one-day ticket and go in or out.
Yeah.
And there was a time where you could buy as an option added on to your theme park tickets. So it was a low risk kind of thing. And so this, the minimum for entry is $30. And that's on a weekday. Weekends, I think it starts at 35 maybe. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to scroll down to see it. Yes, 36 on weekends. But that just buys you 90 minutes. And that 90 minutes is ticking when you're in there. If you're not playing a game, if you're waiting for a game, or if you're talking about what game you want to do next, that 90 minutes, it's ticking. It's not just your time inside the actual games. You can pause it for up to 30 minutes to go to the bathroom or get some food, but you can't leave and come back later that day and continue your game. Or you can't use part of it one day and use it on another day of your vacation. There's no.
So I guess maybe it makes sense from a crowd flow.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how busy it is.
Right.
I mean, NBA Experience certainly didn't have problems with crowd flow. Hopefully, this will be a little busier than that. But as a local or an annual pass holder, there's no option other than just buying a 90-minute ticket. And if you're someone who, like me, who is usually a solo traveler or at best with one other person, there are only two things in the whole building you can do as a solo person. There's the axe thing that everyone showed you, and there's a kind of scavenger hunt in the artwork. There's a lot of really beautiful artwork throughout the building, and there's a scavenger hunt with it. But you cannot play any of the games unless you find strangers to make friends with.
Wow. So could two people do it?
Two people can do them, but I cannot see two people succeeding in the vast majority of the games. Almost all of the games really need at least, I'd say, 4 people. They take up to 6, and it really feels like most of the games are designed for 4 people. Because there are things where, like, you have 4 buttons on opposite sides of the room that have to be hit in sequence or order or something like that. So really, if you're a group of 4 or you're good at making friends with strangers, great. Also, if you have a disability, we got a map that showed what rooms were accessible, and it's a minority of them. We're with a friend there who was in a scooter, and there were very, very few things that she could fully participate with. So bear all that in mind. I would highly recommend going to their website, Level 99 website, log in, create an account ahead of time, and it'll let you get a feel for what kind of things they have. It'll show you can read the hints for the games before you go.
Oh, I like
And
that.
I think that would really have helped if I knew what I was doing. But I also think it would help if there was some sort of structure to it. Disney Quest had like its kind of 4 different main areas and sort of theme and a little bit of a flow to the different sections, where this is like, it's like if you're playing Mario Party, but there was no progression to the game, there were no, and it was just purely random with no structure at all every time. And I think that if this had some sort of flow to it, if you felt like you had some sort of progression or accomplishment, maybe I would have gotten more out of it. So
yes, I did something similar to this in the UK, the Crystal Maze, which was based off.
Oh my God,
show,
the TV show with Richard O'Brien way back in the day.
It was one of the most incredible experiences, similar to this, but much more theming. Like it was like you're on studio sets, and there was a flow. Like you went in a certain order, and it kept the momentum. And like this is timed. The rooms are timed. That was also timed. There's no problem with hitting the next party or waiting a while because you're in a time room. You're thrown out of the room after a certain amount of time. So it's interesting that they don't use a similar concept with the flow.
I mean, I think the idea is that they want people to just randomly, we want to do this, we want to do this, and then we want to have a drink, and have it more like kind of a party atmosphere as opposed to a structured thing. But I don't know. I'd like to go back and give it another try with a group of folks once I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. But we were with a bunch of people who are done a lot of these kind of things and were really pretty good at them, and I just felt like a failure over and over again.
No.
And like, and I feel like a lot of them needed more feedback in the, like, it was just like you lost, as opposed to letting me know why I lost and how I could do better. So
it's interesting though, because this isn't new. This is a change.
No, they've got different locations, but I think a lot of these games might be new for this location. In fact, some of the ones that we were especially frustrated, like that alchemy one, which was absolutely gorgeous but confusing as heck. We would talk to employees and they were like, yeah, we haven't even really play tested that one yet. So there were some things that were definitely new and works in progress. So I feel like they have the ability, if a game isn't working, to swap it out for a different one, to change things up. And they have different locations, so maybe they'll bring in stuff from other places. So if you've got a few days in your vacation, you want to give it a shot, you're over on the west side, give it a try and let us know what you thought.
Yes, definitely. I'll at least be stopping in for that Detroit style pizza and maybe a Mai Tai now that you told me.
Derry and me do not agree, so I did not try any of the pizza, but people were raving about the pizza.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. I mean, again, it looks fun, something to do, rainy day, don't want to buy park tickets.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Gosh knows that summer in Florida, we can use more rainy day activities.
Yes.
All right. Without any further ado, it is time for us to jump into the news in the queue. All right. This is a very late-breaking, last-minute addition to our news in the queue, but it was announced earlier today that Comcast, the parent company of the Universal theme parks, is breaking up. They are splitting and spinning off NBC Universal from their Comcast business. What this means is that instead of one giant mega corporation, Comcast, we are going to, if the government approves, we are going to end up with two different companies. One will be NBC Universal, and that will continue to own Universal Destinations and Experiences, which means all the theme parks. Universal Pictures, DreamWorks Animation, Illuminations, NBC, Telemundo, Peacock, Bravo, and Sky. So basically, all of the creative companies, everything that feeds into the theme parks will be one company together. Comcast will then just be Cabletown again. That's a 30 Rock deep cut for you. Comcast will go back to just being what it started as, which was a cable company, a wireless broadband business company, not a creative company. If you remember way back, it was like GE swallowed Comcast, which ended up swallowing GE, which wound up eating Universal. It was like this weird tail wagging the dog, Ouroboros kind of thing. Anyway, so we'll no longer have Comcast as part of Universal, but all the things that we know as Universal will continue to be part of Universal. Mike Cavanaugh, who is currently Comcast president, is going to be CEO of the new NBC Universal, and they're going to bring back their old chief financial officer, Michael Angelcase, to lead Comcast. I don't think this is going to really have a big impact on the theme parks. There was a time when Comcast, when the cable television business was so big and so profitable that it allowed Comcast to swallow all these other companies. And it fueled, like, if it wasn't for Comcast money, I don't think we would have had Diagon Alley. We wouldn't have had Epic Universe probably. But I think the days of like cable television being a huge profit driver are kind of over. And I think that now it's the theme parks themselves that are the profit driver. So I don't think it's that bad a thing for the parks and the movie studios to be apart from the cable company. That's my take on it.
Yes. I mean, it's always fascinating. It kind of reminds me of like Disney during the Disney decade. I mean, there's such a different battle of creative and then the business and the studio. And that's kind of vibes I get. But you're right. I mean, it's not going to impact really.
I don't think it's going to, your average Universal theme park visit will not be affected. Except you'll probably see less Comcast branding, which that's fine with me.
That's fine.
Next up, Walt Disney World has released details on their Christmas holiday season, and they are expanding. There are more dates, more hard ticket event nights. But one thing that people have come to associate with Christmas is going away. So let's start out with the positives and the plussings.
An extra week.
Yes. Woo! Now, the holiday celebration is, traditionally, I remember when they would have Thanksgiving and magically overnight, after Thanksgiving, they would just transform the parks, transform the hotels, and it would magically be Christmas. Now, instead, it's starting November 13th, before Thanksgiving, and it's going to run all the way through January 6th of 2027. So that's almost, you're right, a full week after New Year's Day to continue celebrating.
And that's great, especially if you have a blocked out annual pass. You maybe want to go with your family and do all of that after the madness. You can go do that.
So even though that official holiday season is the 13th of November through the 6th of January, there are some events that are falling outside that window because the Magic Kingdom is kicking off the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas parties early on November 8th, but they wrap up on December 22nd because Santa's got other things to do.
He's a busy man.
Yeah. Jollywood Nights, though, has also expanded, and now it is running even longer than the Very Merry Christmas party. It's going all the way from November 7th through January 5th.
Yes. I have to say, last year, it kind of blew my mind because I've gone since it started, and it was so great last year. So
You're
highly,
raving
highly
about it
recommend
last
it.
time made
Oh,
me really think I need to get
yeah.
myself a ticket, and there are more opportunities because there are more nights this year. And finally, Epcot Festival of the Holidays is running from November 27th through December 30th. Um, that one is included in your regular park admission, along with the candlelight processional and the wonderful Living with the Land
Oh,
holiday light display, all
so
coming back.
magical.
And your regular park ticket or annual pass also, if it's not blocked out, of course, gets you into Animal Kingdom, where they're bringing back the Merry Menagerie. Magic Kingdom's got the Frozen Holiday Surprise.
Mhm.
That's usually on the schedule. And Hollywood Studios is bringing back those projection mappings on the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, as long with bringing Olaf into the Frozen show. But you're going to have to shell out for one of those after-hour parties if you really want the see the stuff that they pull out all the stops for. I'm not going to read off every single date for the Very Merry Christmas Party, but like we said, it's 8th through the 22nd, and the tickets this year range from $189 up to $229. That's a $20 increase over last year for the starting price. I remember when these were cheaper than going for a full day.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I definitely think it's bucket list. There's not enough new stuff every year, so I don't usually run to do it, but it is magical.
Yeah, you do get to see the Christmas parade, the Castle Stage Show, and the Christmas fireworks, all of which are repeats. Not aware of any new major entertainment, but I also do really like how they kind of trick out the rides like Space Mountain, and basically the only time I enjoy riding the Tomorrowland Speedway is when it's led up
same,
to the holidays. Jollywood Nights, the one that you really loved, they are coming back for their 3rd year, and I'm hoping that they don't make cutbacks after all the positive things from the previous year. It is their largest run yet. It's up to 15 nights. Was 13 nights last time. And the tickets for this one run from $159 to $199. So same top price as last year.
The vibes are vibing. This is I just love it. And yes, definitely.
Did you have a favorite out of the live entertainment? Because that's what's really special about this.
It's the Disney Holidays in Hollywood, which is the stage show in the Beauty and the Beast theater. To see, Miss Piggy, the characters.
Yes.
The photo. I'm not really like a photo pass person. The photo ops for this are wonderful. The vibes are great. You got Duffy. It's so much fun if you want to get in the spirit. And maybe you've done Very Merry every single year, and maybe like you want to do something Christmas, but try something different.
Change it up. Yeah, especially if you don't have little kids. This is probably a better choice for adults. And you'll be able to check out the new Rock and Roller Coaster with the Muppets after you see the Muppets live on stage. All right. Well, that's the good news. The bad news is there are changes coming to the way folks hop around the resort, and possibly tied to these changes, though not officially confirmed by Disney that has any connection, is that the iconic Grand Floridian gingerbread house will not be returning this year. It wasn't up last year because they were doing major construction on the Grand Floridian lobby. That's all wrapped up, but involved adding a big new bar to the lobby.
I love the perch. Yeah.
Which, yes, beautiful lobby themed like an old-fashioned elevator.
And potent drinks.
Potent drinks, but it did take up some floor space, and it was already pretty crowded in there when the gingerbread house was up. So that will not return this year. And coincidentally, or perhaps not so coincidentally, you're not going to be able to park your car over at Disney Springs and hop on a bus over to the Grand Floridian or any of the other hotels to see the decorations this Christmas or this summer or anytime. Because we've talked about speculation and testing in this in the past. It's now official. It's up on Disney's website. There are signs posted. You must be a registered hotel guest or have a reservation for dining at a hotel before you get on one of those free buses from Disney Springs. So if you thought it was a super cool hack that you learned from social media to hop around the resorts like that, those days are done.
To be honest, I don't know a single person that does that, and it sounds like an awful waste of time. Like I obviously we have annual passes, so we could park. My thing is, I am a resort girl through and through. I think I spend most of my time resort hopping, enjoying the bars and restaurants there. But I think at a certain point, I agree wholeheartedly that for that family that's spending that bucket list money to stay at the Grand Floridian for the holidays, and they come and it's a zoo, that just is such a damper on the experience. And I don't think Disney's going to be able to control it in the way that, resort guests maybe want. Like, we're always going to be able to take the monorail because logistically they're not going to be able to, scan everyone. That would just totally cheapen the experience. But at a certain point, these people are spending $900 a night to stay here. I want them to have a great experience. And when there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of day guests, whatnot, crowding your lobby, I don't know. I think I would be kind of upset if I rolled up for my, big family trip and, you can't even walk around.
I do agree that people who are paying the big bucks to stay at a resort should have first priority for that resort's amenities, 1,000%.
I mean, that's another change. They need to make them have first crack at reservations, I think.
And I will say, I have friends who, live here and cannot afford annual passes, cannot afford tickets. And, going and parking at Disney Springs and doing a resort crawl was a way that they could afford to give their kids a little bit of Disney magic and still pay the mortgage. I appreciate that. I think there's still plenty of things, you've got for Christmas, you've got the Christmas tree walk. You can go and still park for free at Disney Springs and enjoy all of those kind of things with no problem. And,
and also, I mean, I know money is tight. You could also pay to park at Hollywood Studios.
You can,
and then walk the boardwalk.
Pay to park at a park if you have to, if you don't have an annual pass, or make a reservation for something at the resort and just go in and get an appetizer. Get an appetizer, get one drink, and you don't have to break the bank necessarily to enjoy the resort still. So I do see on the one hand that 10 years ago we didn't have 1 million people on TikTok spreading the word that, this is something you can do for free.
I also think it's partly Disney's fault because since Walt Disney World opened in 1971, at the foreground of their marketing was these cool hotels. So they themselves have always promoted resort hopping and exploration. So,
and here's the thing, that they know that the number of guests coming to their resort has increased exponentially over the last 10 to 20 years, but they haven't increased the infrastructure or the staffing to match. So yes, they can blame all the, freeloaders or social media people for ruining things, but not increasing your staffing level, not increasing your training, not increasing the number of buses that you have. That also makes things more overcrowded and less efficient. So if Disney had invested as much in, in their staff and their infrastructure, then maybe they wouldn't have had to, cut these things that people enjoy.
I don't see an answer that works and makes everyone happy because, we see them limit day parking at resorts like Polynesian, for example. 4th of July last year, they didn't let anyone park there if you weren't staying there. And I go to Tambu and the bartenders are making pennies because no one's there. So I
Yes.
want cast members to make money because
Mm-hmm.
we know that if you're staying at the Polynesian, not every single person is going to be just hanging at the resort all day. They're
Right.
going to be going to the parks. But I don't really see any way to make it work
Yeah.
to make everyone happy. I think this, to be honest, I think this is a good thing. I mean, I would maybe like them to put the gingerbread house in the convention center at the Grand Floridian and maybe have it be exclusive to Grand Floridian guests because it's such a tradition. But it's so complicated. And, Disney is always like, come to our magical bubble, stay on
Right.
property and go all around. So
Yeah.
it
was the
I can see
vacation
every side
kingdom.
of
The
it.
idea was that the theme park was just a small part of it, and that you would spend time at all the resorts.
Right.
That
And
was
you
that
still
was the
can.
draw.
That is not
Yeah,
to say,
you still can.
I'm a rideshare person. I will
Yep.
gladly spend, and a lot of times because there's so many drivers in Orlando, it could be like $8 to go from Epcot to the Polynesian. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
It's very
because,
affordable.
yeah, time is money. And there's so many drivers that come to Central Florida to drive.
Mhm.
I know, again, it's not for everyone, but there are still ways. You could still do all of this. But I think for the
Yeah.
Grand Floridian in particular, it's the flagship resort. We got to preserve the sanctity of it and make sure the people that are staying there have a great time. And I'm okay with this one. Sorry.
My last point is, if you want me to spend the day at the Magic Kingdom and not have to leave to go to a resort to eat, then give me some better food options inside the Magic Kingdom,
Yes,
please.
that's another great point.
Like, I don't mind being trapped for the day in Epcot. I can find something to eat, but there's times where I just cannot. There's only so many times you can eat at Columbia Harbor House. So
Oh yeah, no, I'm leaving. I'm going to Contemporary.
right. All right. And next up, now for something completely different.
Yes.
We're heading to New York City, where a life-size replica of Peter Parker's apartment is coming to life for one day only as a pop-up experience to promote the upcoming film Spider-Man Brand New Day. And if you can't see it in person, then there's a Zillow listing that you can
This
check out.
cracked me up, like, because it is a legit Zillow listing and you have the suit on there. You have like the funky looking kitchen, the workout equipment. It is, I really highly
it's
suggest
pretty
looking
hilarious.
at this article and clicking on the Zillow listing because it's really funny.
Now, it is too late to see this in person because this happened on Saturday, June 27th, just a couple days ago. And it was at the Greenpoint Terminal Warehouse in Brooklyn, New York. The folks who were allowed to do this were those who were lucky enough to be able to reserve a spot. They were allowed to register for up to 10 people and got to experience a walkthrough of the fictional apartment brought to life. Some of the amenities in this really hilarious listing included villain-proof locks, a friendly neighborhood, a villain exclusion zone, and an absence of local crime. All very rare things in Brooklyn.
Yes.
So
And this is all for pizza. So like this is a
Yes.
craziest activation to get me to buy Little Caesars pizza, but I love when people come up with these just kind of outlandish, wild ideas.
Yeah, this was the guests who got to visit the apartment also had the opportunity to try Little Caesars' new Spider-Man inspired Webberoni pizza, which you can actually order yourself online. It's a limited time offering inspired by Spider-Man's iconic web slinging abilities and is intended to deliver pepperoni in every bite.
Oh, love it.
Only $8.99. I mean, we've got Papa John's doing Toy Story 5. We got
I did
Wendy's
get that.
doing Minions
Yeah.
and Monsters.
Yes.
So there are fast food tie-ins. I feel like it's the golden age of the 90s again, where we had
Yes.
Batman toys at
Oh my God. It's like collect
McDonald's.
them all. I
Right?
saw like there's like World Cup glasses at McDonald's. I'm like a sucker for merch. So bring it on.
So this was a one-day thing, but I'm sure this is not the last of the hype for Spider-Man Brand New Day that we are going to be seeing as that film approaches.
Yes.
All right. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of this week's news in the Cube. But before we jump into the main attraction, it's time to hear a word from our sponsor.
There's only one place on Earth where the magic is real, the memories last forever, and every single visit feels like the first time. Walt Disney World. And nobody plans it better than MEI-Travel, an authorized Disney vacation planner and earmarked agency with over 20 years of Walt Disney World expertise. Best of all, their planning services are completely free. Visit mousefantravel.com and let the experts handle every magical detail. Your best Disney trip starts here.
It's time for the main attraction.
And for this week's main attraction, we are heading to Universal Studios Florida, where we have gotten a flood of announcements of original themed haunted houses for Halloween Horror Nights 35, which is coming up sooner than I can believe in August.
Crazy. Oh, I'm so ready. I don't want to rush summer, but ready.
So they launched the announcement season by revealing kind of the 35th milestone year theme, which is going to be the return of Jack the Clown and Dr. Oddfellow. And they're going to have a haunted house dedicated to them. We already knew about. And we had already found out that two big IP houses this year are going to be Sinners and Stranger Things.
Yes.
But now this week, we have just gotten a whole bunch of brand new original houses. And the first up is H&R Bloodengutz presents a Halloween Fright-tacular, the return of a cult favorite character after 15 years. Do you remember the original?
I do. I'm really excited about this. My husband's a TV host, so I feel like I want him to dress up as this character. I love this so much. And, anything where it feels real worldish. I don't know, because this is like set in this fictional television studio. I cannot wait for this.
Yeah, I feel like 15 years ago, I think there were more awareness of the history of horror hosts. Like, Elvira's retired now. Bob Briggs does the occasional special or whatever. But that golden area.
I'm blanking.
Yes, Svengoolie, Paul Bearer, those kind of characters. Of course, the original Vampira, famous from Plan 9 from Outer Space. That kind of is an old thing now that I don't know if the younger kids get the whole history of that. But this was
we're gonna make them get it.
Yes. So in case you don't know the legacy of it, this was an original character. His real name was Larry Kurtzberg. He was a washed-up actor who was hosting late-night B-movies on WKNB TV in Cary, Ohio.
Of course, goes back. Yes.
Everything bad in
Cary,
Halloween Nights
Ohio.
always goes back to Cary, Ohio. And of course, WKNB is a reference to KNB, the makeup effects studio that did horror makeup for so many great movies. And so this horror host developed this persona of H.R. Bloodengutz and basically went crazy during a Halloween-themed broadcast, killed all his staff and tortured them, and ended up in an asylum. Well, 15 years later, it looks like he is back, and he's going to be hosting a series of little vignettes. So they've had a bunch of houses in recent years where it's kind of going through multiple different little scenes, different films or TV shows. And so that's what we're going to be seeing here, all hosted by H.R. Bloodengutz.
I can't wait to see what he looks like, because if you're in an insane asylum, it's definitely going to take a toll on your physical appearance. So
yeah, I have a feeling that he's going to be even messier than he was last time. And from what I hear, they have brought back the original actor to record video segments. The same performer who did him back then. So can't wait to see that one. And then right after that, we had an announcement of Madlands Caged Cannibals Haunted House. This one is a new concept. where guests will enter a defunct zoo. I'm not sure if this zoo is also located in Cary, Ohio, or if it's somewhere else.
Probably, yeah.
Everything's in Cary, right?
Yes.
So this zoo has become the deadly territory of warring cannibal factions who have taken their animal instincts to extreme levels, creating a brutal battleground where visitors become the prey. So yes, you will be going through a falling apart zoo and trying to avoid becoming lunch, which sounds like a pretty novel. I can't think of a haunted house that was fully set inside a zoo before at Halloween
Same.
Horror
I'm
Nights.
trying to think of maybe like SeaWorld Hollow Scream. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so, but I think like atmospheric wise, this has
Yeah.
the potential to be one of the coolest strictly from atmosphere and scenes.
Definitely a lot of potential, and we know they've done Cannibals before with
Yep.
Apocalypse, City of Cannibals, Scare Zone, and that was well received. So maybe that will expand on some of those ideas. Then, for all you cyberpunk fans out there, we are getting Cybergoria,
Ooh.
which is an original concept where guests will awaken thousands of years in the future in a frozen world ruled by machines with a singular mission to make humanity live forever. So I'm seeing a little bit of William Gibson, a little bit of Terminator.
Terminator, yes.
The artwork has this glowing skull, which looks very Terminator to me.
If they don't have some, I'm sure there's going to be Easter eggs to the defunct attraction. I mean, that would be a missed
I certainly hope
opportunity.
so. If not some, I mean, I know they've got some T-70s lying in a warehouse somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd love to see some props get reused. It also is kind of reminiscent of Zyboards, which was a roaming horde that they had back at Halloween Horror Nights 30. I'm a big fan of an old Japanese film, Tetsuo the Iron Man, which
Yes.
kind of one of the original body horror films about, merging biology with machinery. So if they draw any imagery from that, it is definitely freaky. So
Absolutely. Yeah. No, this
and
looks great.
yeah, these strong lineup, and then finally the last original house.
Yes.
We do not have a full article on this yet, but I suggest you go over to nerdist.com. They did a great interview with Charles Gray. I've known him for years. Great director, great performer, and he is helming Invasion Alien Abduction.
My gosh, I'm like,
and I know
most
this
hyped
is
for
one
this. Yeah.
I know this is one that he's had in his back pocket. He's been pitching for years, and I'm so happy for him that he finally got to realize it. And basically, this is putting you in the shoes of an alien abduction victim, like all the classic,
So good.
the Greys, all the kind of close encounters, but with the horror element dialed up to 11. It's not supposed to be humorous and cheesy and kitschy. They've done that kind of thing before. This is like actually trying to scare you.
It sounds like it could be so good.
They're talking about some really innovative technology, using vibrations, using some real sense of scale to kind of create the illusion that there's this giant 2 football field size spaceship that's picking you up, and Easter eggs too. Charles has been around for a long time and knows the fans love Easter eggs, and has promised that you're going to find some. First hint, look at the family photos. I'm going to have to keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait for this. I don't know. It feels so like throwback 90s. Remember when people would wear like alien shirts, it was like that classic vision of like what an alien, what we think an alien looks like, that big head. I'm also excited. I feel like the people watching with outfit inspiration for this one could be really, really good.
I want to see people bounding as Greys.
Yes,
right?
yes. This just, I'm so excited. I mean, very excited for Stranger Things, always a favorite, but the original IP this year is promising and strong.
Still have a few more houses to announce that we are assuming are going to all be IP houses. I've still got my fingers crossed for Hellraiser. I've been hoping for a good
See,
Hellraiser house for
I am
years.
hoping for a Killer Clown's return because that's always one of my favorites.
You know, I believe that we're gonna have maybe a clown-themed scare zone, and perhaps they could show up there. But
Yes.
I could be
Well,
wrong.
The 2018 Killer Clown Scare Zone in Orlando was
Yes.
amazing.
Amazing. And then
yeah.
a great haunted house they had for it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that is going to bring us to the end of our stories, but we want to take a look back at some of the comments you left. And Mikey, who was with me at level 99, jumped in and had some things to say. He said it was his first time playing an escape room. And he said that we should stretch your throwing arm out before you visit.
Oh,
and that is
Lord.
excellent advice. I got to tell you, if you've got like a weak rotator cuff, there are a lot of games in there that are going to make you sore. The first Friday night is 60 days
That's
of Halloween
crazy.
Horror Nights is 60 days
Stop
from
it.
today. That is a terrifying, terrifying thought. He pointed out that Bloodengutz had a cameo in the Scary House during HHN 30. Yes, that was the last time. And Jack the Clown wants to be the only killer
Fair
clown
enough.
this year. Well, I'm not going to disagree with Jack. He scares me.
Very
all right.
scary.
Well, thank you, Mikey, for all of that insight. Yes. And I want to, before we go, thank our sponsor, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel again, and also remind you to purchase your copy of our Epic Universe magazine in print or digital at our website. Also, I want to remind everyone to please give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to listen to us, along with a like and subscribe on YouTube. And please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com and search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media platforms. Carly, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Adventures by Carly, and you could pre-order my book, The Unofficial Disney Parks Retro Cookbook, coming out in October, but pre-order now. Pre-order. And thank you.
And you can find me at Eskuberski and at The Unofficial Guides, and pre-order my books at theunofficialguides.com. And until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We will see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.